Hello, everyone. Welcome to this AWS on Air session. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are joining from. Today's session is a customer spotlight session and also a partner spotlight session. We are joined today by James from NVIDIA and John from Eternal Technologies. My name is Shruti Koparkar, and I am the Senior Product Marketing Manager here at AWS. And James and John, maybe you can introduce yourselves.
Hey, great to be here. Nice to see you, Shruti. I'm John Hanby, founder and CEO of Eternal Technologies.
Hey, Shruti, thanks for the great welcome. James Allen from NVIDIA, and I'm a Senior Partner Marketing Manager that focuses on the work we do with AWS and all the great things we get to do together.
Yes, absolutely. So, AWS and NVIDIA have been partners for over a decade, and we have enabled customers such as Eternal Technologies to really push the boundaries of what technology, and in particular AI/ML technology, can do. And so, John, really great to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about what Eternal does? And just really curious to hear about what type of innovation you are building at Eternal.
Yeah, absolutely. So Eternal Technologies is an enterprise AI and automation company, and we are able to hyper-personalize customer experiences across all major media formats, whether that's simple text content, Word documents, slide decks. But our real claim to fame is what I would consider the luxurious media formats like audio content, video, beautiful graphic design brochures, and web experiences. And we can do that programmatically at scale, at millions scale, through a data set in over 300 unique language locales. And what that ultimately translates to is the ability for any size organization to be able to engage with their customers at a one-to-one level, communicating with them to deliver the right information to the right person at the right time and deliver a specific measurable outcome with analytics throughout the process. And that ultimately can result in what we found compared to a generic piece of content, about a 13 times increase in the click-through rates, engagement, and watch time of a personalized piece of content compared to that generic. And I know both of your eyes just perked up a little bit because 13 times increase in engagement is a dream for sales, marketing, and customer experience teams. And that means more eyeballs on your content for a longer period of time, driving more engagement, which ultimately results in more conversions and a larger pipeline and more revenue.
Wow, that is the best 90-second pitch I've ever heard. Such a cool technology.
Thank you.
Yes, and John, can we see it in action?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So what you're looking at here, this is a combination of 3 of our hyper-personalization technologies all built into one. So the first thing that you'll notice right at the top of the screen is we've got this personalized header on the website. This is tailored to an imaginary CEO named John who works for Acme Corporation, and they happen to also be in the financial services industry vertical. Now, this is just a light example of how we can personalize content on one of these, what we call a microsite or personalized web experiences. But of course, you could have as much content on the page that's personalized with tabs and callouts just like you would on any other landing page. And again, everything that we're showing you here can be generated programmatically at millions scale. The next thing that you'll notice is we do also have a video embedded into this site. And this particular video was actually dynamically assembled using our video automation technology that we were talking about a little bit earlier on. And the cool thing about this is this video was actually personalized and assembled and curated specifically to resonate with this CEO persona for the financial services industry vertical. And in addition to that, we've also got some call outs here. Now, everything on this page that you're seeing is designed specifically with one goal in mind, which is to get the person interested in the content, ultimately fill out that form and convert. Now, when they do, we'll show you that here in a second, but essentially we've got some inputs here. And let's just say maybe instead of $10 billion in revenue, maybe they're $17 billion and they've got, I don't know, 25,000 employees. And then for company revenue and scope, maybe we're at like 25%. Maybe they have less additional net new incremental revenue. And then maybe we're in the financial services industry vertical. So we can hit next here. And then we'll just simply put in our contact information. We've got this saved from the last time that I gave a demo. And we'll click generate. And now what it's going to do behind the scenes is going to take all of the information that we know about that individual person from the data sources that that company may have. For example, CRM data set or other third-party sources. And it's going to combine that information with the inputs that me as the imaginary recipient filling out this form also provided. And it's going to package up all of that content into a beautiful graphic designed unsolicited proposal. And this particular use case is something that we've done with a number of companies and generated literally hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. There was one campaign that was run on over a 24-hour period. It created over $200 million in net new pipeline for a customer. And they were able to do more proposals in the first 24 hours using this technology than they had done in the last 3 years combined. So you can see we've got a beautiful document here. The cool thing about this document is it's actually interactive as well. So you can click through the content. And we've got an outstanding financial model that's been built specifically by the inputs that we provided in the form. Of course, all tailored in this case to this imaginary company that I typed in called Horizon Technologies. So that's one example. There's a lot more that I could show, but given that we're short on time, we'll probably have to do that another day. But that's the technology in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's really cool that you are essentially dog fooding your own product, right? Like I'm sure you're using your own product
every day.
to reach out to all these customers. That's pretty great.
Amazing. And one quick question, when it comes to a customer utilizing your technology, is the interface going to be very similar to when they're maybe changing the content or using the content?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have a number of different ways that you can interface with the technology. That microsite approach is one of them. And that can be custom developed very easily. It's just a lightweight standard React app that either our company could build, or if you've got in-house developers, you can integrate very easily with our API to have whatever type of experience you want for that content. And of course, we also have applications that we provide for internal use, but this could just as easily integrate to any of your common platform as a service offerings, like a Salesforce or a Microsoft Dynamics or a ServiceNow, right? All of these different systems could utilize and exchange information very easy. Our average API integration time is like 60 minutes. So it's pretty fast to set up.
Impressive.
Can you break it down a little bit more for us? Like, so you said it's across a variety of different formats. So this is written brochures as well as videos. Like, can you elaborate a bit more on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background was actually in corporate film production, and I founded and ran what became Austin, Texas' top corporate film production company before I started this business. One of the biggest challenges was the ability to scale a high touch video content because it simply just was too expensive. And so I said, there's got to be a better way to solve this challenge. And ultimately, we created a technology where you can actually break down content into modular components. You could think of that like 2 to 3 sentences of text. Maybe it's a slide in a slide deck presentation, or it's 10 to 15 seconds of audio or video. And through our technology, we can dynamically select and assemble those modular components to tell different types of stories to different people. Now, the benefit there is a couple things. The first one is you're able to create a library of content that can be easily reused, mixed, and matched, which results in a greater return on investment for marketing spend. You know, one of the biggest challenges in the marketing world is you spend $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 on a single video. That video is great for a couple months, and then one small piece of your message changes, and now you have to throw out that video and start from scratch. Through using modular components, we can simply update that one block of content that had the change, leave everything else intact, click a regenerate button, and it will automatically update that content, effectively creating a faster turnaround time for that update and a better content lifecycle management. And that extends to all major media formats. So now we're suddenly able to mix and match and pair this content in a unique way, keeping it accurate, up to date, and trusted over time. But you also have the benefit of having this library of content so that you can actually create a significantly greater number of personalized videos for different people. For example, there's one of the top 3 financial institutions in the world. Right now, we're building out a use case for them with personalized video. And the idea behind that use case is their CEO today will sit down in front of the camera and record a 1 to 2 minute personalized sales message to close like the largest transactions. It's, hey, we're all in on doing this transaction with you. Please do business with us type of message. Now, that doesn't scale for a CEO whose time is so valuable to dozens or hundreds of customers. They can only do it for a handful. But through our technology, you can have that person sit down in front of the camera, record a bunch of these modular blocks, and then through our AI and automation, you can pull and dynamically assemble many different types of messages to different people. So you could have one that says, hi, Shruti, you're in the financial services industry vertical, and we're going to help you with your transaction. Maybe we go to James and we say, hi, James, you're in the semiconductor industry. We're going to help you with your transaction. Please do business with us. And now suddenly through this AI and catalog of content, you could produce literally hundreds, thousands, or even millions of these personalized videos that are just as engaging and lifelike and real because it's a real person sitting there. And you can do that in a scalable fashion, ultimately leading to that greater engagement. Now, the exciting part, and I'm going to pause here so you can ask your next question in a second, but the exciting part is our entire platform, maybe it was really good foresight, maybe we just got lucky, but we built it 100% to be generative AI ready. And so what that means is with this enormous explosion of generative AI that's come over the last couple of months and really the last year, we've been able to plug in new technologies like large language models, like NVIDIA's Riva for voice generation, and hopefully one day soon, things for digital human video generation right into the platform so that you can actually start to scale that to the next level. So it's a very exciting place to be.
And that was, speaking from experience with the ads that you'd done for GTC, which is our annual conference coming up in March. I felt like I got my own personal invite, so it was very pleasant to get. But kind of going back to the large language models, I know that you guys have been looking at Nemo, and so just curious about different ways that you might be using that to incorporate the technology for some of the use cases.
Yeah, one of the things that we really like about the NVIDIA Nemo stack is that it's something that is very easy to work with and comes with a lot of out-of-the-box options for my engineering team so that we can quickly iterate, experiment. Just last week, my dev team was spinning up a couple of, I think it was, I don't want to get the name wrong, but I think it's like a P5 something instance, the new ones that are out to test the Nemo models and just experiment, right? And so the ability to drive that on-demand experimentation so that we can maintain the innovation and creativity and velocity as we build new products in collaboration with AWS and NVIDIA has been absolutely fantastic.
That's
Amazing.
awesome.
And
yes.
I was going to say, Shruti, you were the one that launched the P5 and made an amazing video. I'll put the link in the chat.
Yes.
As well as information for Nemo.
Yes, and for all those who may not be familiar, these are the Amazon EC2 P5 instances. They provide the highest performance in Amazon EC2 for deep learning and generative AI, and they are powered by the NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs. John, it's, you read my mind when you started talking about almost having built a platform that was future-proofed in some sense for generative AI. And part of that is because you were already using AI ML at this really large scale. And that enables you to sort of take what you've already built, your infrastructure on AWS using NVIDIA-powered GPU instances and other NVIDIA libraries like Riva and things, and then pivoted towards these more generative use cases. So one of my curiosities is, Are you doing anything with large language models? That is, what are some of the new use cases that these have unlocked? And, if they have unlocked any other verticals, so to speak, like, beyond functional sort of marketing and sales focused, are you getting into something else and trying out something else?
Yeah, great question. So there's a ton of opportunity that we found to be able to build off of the great infrastructure and platform that we've developed with the advent of generative AI. So the first one that's a big one for us is a technology that we call Blockify. And what Blockify does is it enables a team to improve the accuracy of their training data set for content by about 40 times. And we're able to do that by taking a large set of documents. Say you've got 1 million documents about sales proposals, emails, knowledge-based articles, FAQs, you name it. And we're able to extract a bunch of modular blocks of content from that data set. And the reason that we do that is because information goes out of date over time, right? Every 3 months, there's some component of information that's changing. Maybe it's not a lot, but let's say it's 5%. If you train a model or use retrieval on that data set that's 5% out of date, because AI and large language models are effectively just statistics, you're going to introduce some percentage, maybe say 5% error rate or incorrect hallucination into that response, simply because the information has gone out of date. And so what Blockify does is we're able to take that document data set, extract a bunch of modular blocks of content from that using a large language model, and then distilling that information down by deduplicating it, unifying it, and aggregating it to about 2.5% of the original size. So there's only one single source of truth for each key piece of information. Of course, this is our patented technology, and the end result is you have more human control over that content, such that a product team, let's say it's EC2, or maybe it's NVIDIA powered EC2 instances. You could have a dedicated library of these blocks just for the NVIDIA EC2 instances. And the benefit there is, let's say that there are maybe 2,000 or 3,000 blocks that would cover every possible customer question on that particular solution. Because you have one single source that all of your marketing collateral, all of your websites, all of your AI digital chatbot assistants reference, if there's ever an update in the information, or maybe you launch a new instance, right? You can simply go to that one block in that one location, update it very easily, right? It's a couple sentences, click go, and that will automatically propagate out to all of your content plus any of your AIs that are using that going forward. And the value there is you're able to operate much more efficiently, right? If you've got a team of one person or a team of 10 people, you could each give them a couple hundred blocks, which is a couple hundred paragraphs of text. And now that's something that they could review and approve once a month in an afternoon, right? So it becomes a much more human maintainable data set where you can have that high degree of accuracy and control. We're seeing a lot of interest in highly regulated industries as well, like financial services and pharmaceutical companies, because especially for them, there's a greater degree of accuracy that must be applied to anything that they're doing with a large language model. And the cool thing about this technology is, of course, we can serve it up to somebody as an out-of-the-box buy option if you're in sales or marketing, where it's just built into the overall platform where you can do cool things with it. But in addition to that, we can also provide it as a piece of infrastructure for a customer who wants to build their own large language models and use something like an AWS Bedrock or any of the other available options out there, whether it's Nemo or otherwise. And so now, because you can use things like retrieval, augmented generation, or training your own models, you have this much more accurate data set to build off of. And I could continue on with all the other things that we're doing, but I think that's good for now.
No, that is really really interesting. Blockify, both the sort of products you talked about. One, the the content generation, hyper personalized, as well as this new product line around Blockify. They both sound really interesting. For those who are interested in it, we'll put a chat in the link. Check out Eternal Technologies. As you were describing both these products, one of the things that just resonated with me is that this is really such a great example of how AI is a multiplicative factor, right? Like, the humans in the loop are still important. You still need the CEOs or the sales and marketing teams to record these videos, these hyper personalized content. But then you can take that and with AI, just apply a multiplicative factor that just makes the ROI, like, I'm sure, 100x, 200x. And the same thing is true for Blockify, which is one person can now suddenly maintain and keep this giant sort of data set up to date. So a really great example of how AI can augment what we do. Yeah. So
And
thanks
also the
thanks for
user
going into that.
experience, like there's a certain guardrail, like, well, not to, go into Nemo guardrail, but like where you can control the data sets in a way that maybe other people with the models that they build don't have that in mind. So I think that that's something that's incredibly valuable.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it, it's all additive, right? So this can easily integrate with any of the existing infrastructure or processes or applications that you're using today when it comes to your large language model, because ultimately we're just one layer above that data set for the Blockify technology to make it easier to interact with and maintain the life cycle of that information.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the other things I wanted to discuss was, you are a startup and you have this awesome team that's churning out innovative product after the other. In addition to sort of the technologies that AWS and NVIDIA have provided and you've used, I believe you're also part of the Activate as well as the Inception programs. And can you maybe talk to us a little bit about how you heard about these and what they mean to you and your company and how they've helped you?
Yeah, well, I first have to say that both AWS and NVIDIA have been truly outstanding partners in helping us build our business. We elected to self-fund our organization, started it about 6 years ago. And a lot of that was made possible through the ability to provision safe, secure, reliable infrastructure in the cloud through AWS. The benefit that a lot of larger organizations have is whether they're in the cloud or they're running their own data center, they have infrastructure to back the expectations of an enterprise customer. But as a smaller company, when we were just starting out, on day one, we didn't have the staffing and the data centers to be able to provide that level of security, especially because we wanted to enter and sell to the largest enterprise customers in the world. We've got numerous Fortune 50 companies using our technology, spanning many different industry verticals. And, we get the 200 plus security questions that we're asked every single time we go through any of those security audits. And it's through the safe, secure, and scalable capabilities that AWS and our other partners provide that we're able to answer all of those questions. And not every time, but most of the time, the IT security teams don't have follow-up questions for us, which is crazy, right? We really prioritize security, and that's like definitely something that's unique about our offering as well. We built it to work and do what it says it can do, but we also prioritized security from day one so that we could deliver those outstanding outcomes in a way that an enterprise would be able to leverage.
Awesome. James, I know that you work very closely with the Inception team at NVIDIA. Can you tell us a little bit more about that program and, if you have any upcoming events?
Yes, no, thank you. And honestly, that's how I met John, was through our Inception team. They do an amazing job of supporting customers, bringing new technology. And so that's really the focus for Inception, is when it comes to, giving a foundation for people to get access to learning, to get access to each other, to talk to each other through our forum that they can only get access through Inception. There's discounts through Inception that are available to the members, as well as access to AWS credits. So making it easy for people to get up and developing their solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And then another big piece is awareness. So, we really look to help our inception partners, not just from a technology standpoint, but a support standpoint for their business, getting the word out, bringing them to events. Uh, we have a Gen AI pavilion at reInvent coming up on November 27th, and we'll have 8 inception partners in the booth, each having their own kiosk to share out to the world what they're doing with the NVIDIA and AWS technology. So it's very exciting times, and I would say that Inception's growing at a dramatic pace, but I would say that if you're in Activate, it would make sense to at least join Inception as well, because they work really, really nicely together, and we partner together very closely with AWS.
Yes, it's basically the mirror program on the AWS side, where we do very similar things for startups who are who need the resources. Sometimes they need the credit. Sometimes they need everything from sort of advice on how to build a startup to helping raise awareness. We really want AWS and NVIDIA to be the best place for startups to build AI ML based products and services. So yes, do for all those who are going to reInvent, do go visit the NVIDIA booth at the AI ML Pavilion and check out these startups. I'm sure there will be a lot of innovation that you'll get to see, but you'll also get to chat with fellow founders about how to navigate the challenges of being in a startup. I would love to continue chatting because this is just all so much fun. But we are at time here. Thank you so much, John and James, for joining. And thank you to the audience for tuning into this session. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, Shruti.
Thanks, Shruti.